Jennifer Aniston and comedy go hand in hand. When I actually first started doing reviews on YouTube back in 2010, I was obsessed with her films and I reviewed a lot of them in kind of quick succession. I love her rom-coms. It was only when I watched Cake in 2014, or it was released in 2014, I can't remember off the top of my head when exactly I first saw it. It was only then that I realised just how brilliant she is as a dramatic actress. This has to be one of my favourite of her performances. The film itself is not one of my favourite films. It's good, it's enjoyable, it's not amazing. But in terms of Aniston's performance, it's absolutely brilliant. So it was released, as I said, in 2014, directed by Daniel Barnz, with a screenplay by Patrick Tobin, and stars Jennifer Aniston. It's got a really great supporting cast, actually. It's got Jennifer Aniston, Adriana Barraza plays Silvana, Anna Kendrick's in it, Sam Worthington. I think it's very well cast. The cast all gel really well, and I just think Aniston, as Claire, our protagonist, is brilliant. So the description from IMDb is actually really good. I'll read this out because it doesn't spoil anything, but I think it gives you a real flavour of what you can expect. The hilarious Claire Bennett becomes fascinated by the suicide of a woman in her chronic pain support group. As she uncovers the details of Nina's suicide and develops a poignant relationship with Nina's husband, she also grapples with her own very rare personal tragedy. That doesn't give anything away whatsoever. I love the idea of a chronic pain support group, and I haven't phrased that very well. But you know what I mean. I think that's a really great setting. Films that deal with support groups are always really interesting because you always get a really eclectic mix of characters, just due to the nature of, support groups. People from all walks of life can be in them, and that's certainly the case here. And so that's one reason why I think it works well. The other reason is the character of Claire. I think Aniston's character in this is really fascinating. I think she's very easy to like. She's sometimes, peculiar. I think her behaviour is not always what I would have expected from the character, and that's good. Not that it's not true to the character's personality. It's quite the opposite, actually. I think it's a very well developed, well fleshed out, very real character, and that's the vibe I get from Aniston's performance. It's very true and very raw. And I apologise if you could hear that siren going past my window. It's quite powerful. It's not the most dramatic, emotional film I've ever seen. As I said, it's not the best film in the world, but it is emotive. It is moving. I think it is something that a lot of people will be able to relate to in some way or another. It's award nominated. It's won 5 awards. It was nominated for Best Performance by an Actress at the Golden Globes, of course, for Aniston. It won the Capri, and it's done very well. It's not done, sensationally well, and in terms of ratings, it's got 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, which is good. Metascore of 49, which is alright for a Metascore. I think the greatest thing about this is just how much it surprised me and how much Aniston's role really moved me, because I think this is the first time I've seen her in something quite so serious. A lot of her rom-coms and comedies, they obviously have serious undertones. But this one, although it will use the occasional bit of, humour for light relief, it is a lot more serious. And it was a breath of fresh air to see Aniston in this kind of role. I think she completely nailed it. It's rated 15. It's a film that I think, as I said, pretty much everybody can get something out of. It's quite powerful. It's emotive. The premise is really fascinating. It's really well executed. The characters are all well fleshed out. I mean, apart from obviously your small little background characters, but everybody who's vital to the story is well developed, and Claire's really interesting. If you like Aniston's work, absolutely you need to see this. I think it's brilliant. Even if you're not that big of a fan of Aniston, I think you'll still thoroughly enjoy this one. It's pretty powerful, and there's definitely something there for everybody. Cake is a lot better than I thought.